Hi, this is Stevie Danforth Brokers. We are doing this tape the day before the 14-day mandated coronavirus shutdown to stay home, stay healthy. I wanted to say a few words to you and also let you know that we just installed this new video taping technology so we can do conferences in the offices and also do tape our lunch and learns for future. So it should be a great service that we can show you guys how we're going to use once we get back up and running. But for now, I just wanted to say a few words and say I just appreciate you guys so much. We are going to get through this together, and I can't wait for us to get on the other side of this. We get back to doing business as usual, where you guys can get out there and do what you do best. So at this time, I want to bring Pauline up and have her teach our transaction desk class. So here's Pauline.
Hey, Dave. Today we're going to look at transaction desk. For those of you that were not able to attend the class, there is a complete video presentation that will start this session. We will then move to some tips and tricks that you can use in enhancing your use of transaction desk. Transaction desk, it is replacing Wolf Connect. And today we're going to go through and see some of the features in transaction desk, ending with tips and tricks that will assist you in the use of the new system. I hope you find it as easy as we are starting to discover it to be. Hopefully you've taken the transaction desk training from the Northwest Multiple, but we are going to start the class by just reviewing the steps necessary for getting a purchase and sale agreement into transaction desk. You're going to want to start with the property in the Northwest Multiple. Look for the icon next to the picture. This is your quick access to transaction desk. Click on it and you will receive a screen that will allow you to choose a template. Now we have created templates for all of the property types, both listings and sale. You'll select the correct template. Once you have hit create, the new screen that comes up is a wizard. You're going to want to use the wizard to move through the process. Please do not use the save and close at the bottom. Simply use the next at the top of the screen. Any details that you see in blue are items which must be completed. The contacts list gives you the option to enter all of the parties responsible in this transaction. You'll notice that items were already entered from the Northwest Multiple so that you have the listing firm, the seller's name, all of these things will be auto-populated into your purchase and sale agreement. The items that are missing are your escrow company and your buyer's names. So simply click on the add at the top of the screen and complete the starred items. Now, we ask that you complete more than the starred items simply because this will fill in the data needed by the escrow company for contact information for your client. So there are two screens to complete. The first one, the general screen. The second, the address screen. Once you have completed these, you can go back and add the closing agent. In this case, you would simply need the name of the company and the email address of the closing agent along with their name. Save these items and you will be adding them to your file. There are, however, a number of different potential individuals that you could have as part of your contract. None of these are required items. However, if you would like to have all of the contact information in one spot, go ahead and put in your inspector, and any other parties to the transaction. Now that all of the items have been added, we have all of our contacts there, we can move on to the forms. These forms were all added to the transaction desk for that particular address according to the template. To work in any of these, you will simply click on the click on the name of the form. All of the items that were completed in the wizard are now on your purchase and sale agreement. You will simply go through, check any boxes, fill in any spaces, add the addenda that are required for this particular transaction. When you finish completing this screen, you will go to the top, click File, and Exit. Any items that you completed on this form will then be saved. The next section is the Documents section. All of these were items that were uploaded by the listing agent as attached documents to the listing. You will be able to do the same thing with these, adding information. Once you have looked and completed whatever needed to be done, click on Done. You're now ready to start your Authentisign section. You have two options here. You have signings on the right in the wizard if your wizard is open, or the pen on the left of the screen to click on to be used to get you through to Authentisign. Click on Add. However you have named the transaction in Transaction Desk will appear as a signing name. You can change this. You now add your participants. Choose only the ones that you want to sign. If you have additional parties, you can add them at this point as an add participant to the transaction. Now you're going to choose which forms you're going to send out for signatures. Click the Add button. Final step is the design of your Authentisign packet. You will choose to leave these as ignore. The screen comes up. It is for future improvements to the program. Currently, you need all of these to show ignore and hit save. In the design phase, any form will automatically have the signature blocks marked. Any documents, which means items that were uploaded as an attachment to the listing, will require you to add the signature spots. And that is done through the drag and drop. Once you've gone through the document, you will hit Next and send out your contract. Now, this is assuming that you are representing the buyer in the transaction, because in most cases, the listing agent is not included in the Authentisign. It comes back to you, signed by your buyer. You then download the final document, attach it to an email, and send it to the listing agent. You're now ready to turn in your fully signed contract to the office. Anything that was sent out using Authentisign for full signatures will come back to you and will be in your doc box. You'll notice the icon on the left side of the screen that looks like a packing box. This is your doc box. When you click on it, you will choose transaction folder and then the specific transaction, and you will click on the address to see the property paperwork to make sure that it's the correct one that you want to turn into the office. If you already know that this is the correct mutually signed contract, you can simply click on the submit button there. In all of our demonstrations, we assume that you were writing the purchase and sale agreement for the buyer. Once the purchase and sale agreement is returned to you, you had the option to either email the completely signed contract into your transaction dashboard, or you can use the drag and drop or upload option. To use the drag and drop or upload, you will click on the plus sign by the documents box. This will give you this toolbar, and you will notice that it says drag and drop files here or click to upload. So if the file is on your computer saved in a transaction file, you can simply click on the large blue box, select your document, and when you click open, it will add that document to your documents section. Anything that you add in this manner will be at the top of your documents list. A better way to do things is to go to your submissions using the Documents tab, because this will give you some options that you did not have in DocBox. So with the transaction dashboard for the particular transaction open, you will want your wizard to be open on the right-hand side of the screen. If you do not see the wizard, click on the 3 green lines that are next to the shopping cart, and this will open the wizard. Then click on Documents. You now have the ability to submit an item, or you can merge items to make one complete document. We prefer you turn in a complete document instead of turning in the individual forms. Opening the document, you have the Submit button here. Clicking on Submit in either the Documents section or in the open document will give you the ability to turn that item on to a checklist item and subsequently be seen by the review staff. When the review staff looks at it, they're going to choose either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If they choose the thumbs up, you will see on your transaction dashboard a green icon of a thumbs up. If they choose thumbs down, you will see a red icon in this checklist status box. Turning in the transaction for a request for a commission disbursement requires you to use the Details tab under the wizard. Please only do this if you are turning in a purchase and sale agreement that has been mutually accepted. Do not do this on listing transaction files. Clicking on the details, we're required to fill in once again anything in which you will find the words are blue. So in this case, it is going to be classification. And this is going to be, are you the listing agent, selling agent, a dual agent? What is your role in the transaction? You can only fill in the dollars for the listing or selling commission on the side of the transaction in which you are registered. So as listing agents, you will not be able to fill in the selling side. When you're representing the buyer, you will only fill in the selling commission. You can either choose to put in the percentage in the first box, or go with a flat fee in the second selling commission amount. Next, you will look to make sure that you are listed as the owner of this file. If it says unassigned, as you see on the screen, simply click in the box and start typing your last name. It will find you, save it, and then indicate that you are representing either the seller or the buyer. If there is more than one Danforth agent on the file, you will then choose the Add button beneath that to put the second or third agents in to the transaction. Your end count is going to be the same as what you used in Rolph. So if there is only one agent on that side of the commission, you will put the end count as 1 and the commission percentage as 100%. If there is a division of commission between brokers, you will put the end count as 0.5 or 0.3, whatever you're dividing that commission. And the same with the commission percentage. If you are not sharing the commission with another agent, but you had that second agent on the listing as a co-agent, you can simply use the trash can on the right side of the screen to remove the name of the agent who is not receiving any commission in this transaction. Referrals are only to be used if the broker is not a Danforth broker. There is no requirement for you to fill in outside brokers or trust and account information, as we are not using this. If you have any unique scenarios, you want to use the notes section. So to use the notes section, click on the 3 circles at the top of the screen. This will open this box, and notes, simply click on it and it will give you the ability to add a note. Typical notes might be, I purchased a home warranty from Fidelity for $280. Or on this particular transaction, please give $300 to Eager Beaver agent who showed the property for me. However, you can also use this note section to make the transaction review staff aware of any unique items in this file. For instance, you have the title report that shows that the signer for the trust is an individual. That can satisfy the requirement for sending in the authorized signer document. So you could simply indicate see title report for authorized signer of the trust. So any notes that you want the transaction center to know, use the notes section. Any division of commission that is not covered under the commission splits, use notes to send that in. We now want to show you how to merge documents. This is the best way to turn in your paperwork to the office. Click on the documents under the wizard. Select the items that you want to merge into a single document. Note, the order that you click these items will be the order that they appear in the merged document. So if you wanted page 1 of the purchase and sale agreement to be the first thing that is seen by the review staff, and the last thing is the Form 17, please click them in the order that you want them to be stacked, with page 1 being first. Once you have selected your large circle clicks, you are then going to notice there is a number in the basket at the top of the screen. Click on the basket, and you will get this toolbar. The third icon from the left, which shows two arrows pointing at a stack of papers, is your merge tool. Clicking on that will bring up a new screen. The new screen will have a single line on it that says merge document name and show a list of the documents that you are merging. In that merged document name, please type the name of the new document. Then you will hit the merge key, which will be at the top. We will demonstrate this in a moment with a live presentation of Tom working through a transaction. So we're going to look at some tips and tricks right now to help you with a particular transaction. Your broker dashboard is not going to show all of these files on it. It will only have your files. So we're going to go into a transaction right now and do a little manipulation of the transaction. So let's see what's closing in the next few days here, Tom, and we'll choose one of those. Maybe let's do 19210. All right, so you'll click on the address so that you can open your transaction dashboard. And at this point, we are going to click on the documents under the wizard. And we are going to show how to create folders, subfolders, so that you can clean up your document section and not have a very long list of documents. And we're going to show you how to merge. So these will be the two tasks that we're going to do at this point. So task number 1, creating subfolders. Click on the add and choose Add New Folder. It's recommended that you create 3 folders if you're a listing agent, and maybe just 1 folder or 2 folders if you're the sales agent on the transaction. For a listing agent, you would want a folder that says Listing. And save that. Now create a second folder. Call it Purchase and Sale Agreement, or Sales File, or however you would like to name it, what makes sense to you. And the third folder would be Correspondence. All right, now that you've created these folders, you will be able to move documents into the individual folders. So let's scroll down, Tom, and see what's in this particular transaction. All right, it looks like we have a purchase and sale agreement file. So we are going to go through, and everything that is related to the purchase and sale agreement, we are going to click on the large circle next to that document name. So go ahead and just choose 3 or 4 of them, Tom. Same process, click on the basket. And at this point, I'm first going to demonstrate the merge, and then we'll go back to do the move. So we're going to click on the 2, the merge icon. Now you will see the merged document name. Simply type a new name in there. test file, however you'd like to call it. And then click on the Merge Docs button. Close this and refresh your browser. Scroll to the very bottom of the documents, and you will notice you now have a new document. You still have your original documents as individuals, but now you have a document called Merged because that's what we named it. Now we're going to move the individual documents into the Purchase and Sale Agreement folder. Same process, only now we're going to pick the second icon, the one that has one arrow on a piece of paper. Click on it, and you see your 3 transaction folders at the bottom of the square. Choose the correct corresponding folder, and then choose Move to Here. So now you have eliminated 3 documents from the laundry list of 25 documents that you had there before. And if you simply click on the folder, you will notice the new location for those documents. So you have the ability to clean up this space and keep it such that you are only working with the documents that you need to have visible. So once your listing paperwork has been moved in there and your sales paperwork, you won't have a big long laundry list of documents in this section. Tom, there's a way that they can email stuff into the system. Would you like to explain the icons dealing with the moving of email into Transaction Desk?
So there are 2 icons at the top where I'm pointing to now. The first one will, when you click on that, will show you the email address for the particular transaction. So you can copy that and use it in your email that you're going to put together for this. Or if you simply click on this shortcut below it, it will open your email. If you're using Outlook on your computer, for instance, it'll open Outlook and fill this in for you. The other way that you can do it is there's a little address card up here. And if that's a virtual address card. So if you click on that, it'll download that to your computer or to your phone, whatever device you're on, and you can load that into your contacts. And from that point forward, that is in your contact list. And you can, when you compose an email, you can simply choose it from your contact list. This is really handy, for instance, when something comes from the other broker and you want to forward it to the transaction desk, you simply hit forward and then choose the address from your address list, and it will be in your documents for that transaction waiting the next time you go into transaction desk.
And the beauty of this is that you no longer have to have these emails in PDF format. Using this process will actually add those emails directly to this document section, and they do put a little parenthesis before it, and it actually says the word email so that you know that this particular document was an emailed correspondence. With that, I would suggest that you move them into your correspondence folder that you have created here, and that you do not add them to the checklist until your transaction is ready to close, at which point you could simply merge all of those emails into one document and submit that to your correspondence folder in the system. A few other things that you can do here. Let's suppose that you are the listing agent. You've turned in all of your listing paperwork on the transaction, and you now have received a mutually signed purchase and sale agreement. we would like you to go ahead and add that purchase and sale agreement to the same transaction file that you already have. So let's go back and click on the dashboard here, Tom. Oops, sorry about that. I meant under the wizard. I use everything under the wizard once you get into the files. Go back down there. All right, so the dashboard under the wizard is where you will go back to when you're working in your transaction desk. And at this point, you need to click on the 3 circles that are at the top of the screen. You're in the dashboard, so just click on the 3 circles. And you're going to choose Apply Template. Use the drop-down arrow to find the appropriate purchase and sale agreement template to use here. So we want single-family sale, and hit Apply. You have now added all of the checklist items necessary for a purchase and sale agreement. So your listing agreement, your purchase and sale agreement can be in the same transaction dashboard. The only time you would have something different here would be if this first sale did not close and the transaction now has a new buyer. At that point, you will need to create a new transaction for that listing, no longer being able to put the sale into the listing folder. Now, when we did this just a moment ago, we created a whole bunch of checklist items that we don't need for this. So how do we get rid of that stuff? Using the wizard, select Checklist. All right, as you scroll through, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either choose the large circle at the top by the Add button, and that will mark everything in that checklist to be deleted. And then simply go through the checklist and uncheck any that had a document attached to it. So we just passed a couple items that would be unchecked. So uncheck that approved one, etc. You see, this will work when you have a large list of duplications, and then you're only going to be deleting anything that was not already submitted to the office. And you'd get rid of all of these checklist items that do not apply to the transaction. Now, the reason that these were here are because we were demonstrating how to add checklist items. When the broker started this file, they already had selected items, and we just added a bunch more to it in the demonstration. Back there, there you go. One more. Once you get to the top of the list and you have only the 94 items that do not need to be a part of this file, you will once again use the basket. And there is a trash can at the top of the list. Clicking on the trash can will delete all of the items that were not needed. Go ahead. So you can clean up a checklist if you have downloaded it. It is also possible that you created the file before some items were added to the checklist by the office. So we're going to add a checklist to this transaction as if you had already had a checklist in place, but it did not have the item that you needed on it. All right, so to add a checklist item, you're once again using the wizard. You'll click on checklist. You'll hit the add because our checklist is on the screen. It's already there. And I know that it says add checklist item, but that is not what you want. You actually need to click on add checklist. It'll bring up all of the checklist items and select which one you need and hit apply. And only that one checklist item will be added to your list rather than the complete templated items that we had before. It is also possible that you could turn a document into the office and then go, wait a minute, I put it in the wrong file. So you can fix that if the transaction review staff has not already reviewed the document. To do that, click on your transaction dashboard under the wizard. Click on Documents. Scroll down till you find the word Submitted in gray. There you go, Submitted. Use the 3 circles there. Scroll to the bottom of that drop-down menu and you will notice one of them is Remove from Queue. If you do that, if you click on Remove from Queue, it will bring the item back. Go ahead, Tom. And you'll say yes. And now it has not been submitted and we can now submit the correct document. You also have the ability to delete items from here that have not been turned into the office. The office will only be looking at items that have actually been submitted. Those will be locked down so that you cannot do anything to them. So let's pretend that this commission disbursement is actually uploaded to the wrong file. This commission disbursement is not for 19210 99th Street Northwest. Once again, we will use the 3 circles to the right. When you click on that and scroll down, you will have a delete option. Scroll up, Tom. You went right by it. There you go. At this point, if you click on delete, you're going to get the verification. Do you really want to do it or not? And this time I'm saying no, don't delete it because it does belong in that file. So if it hasn't been turned into the office, you can delete items from here. If it has been turned into the office and it was not supposed to be, you can remove it from the queue, pulling it back into your list of documents not to be reviewed by the staff. Please do not submit anything to the checklist that does not need to be reviewed by staff. Thank you for joining us today for Transaction Desk. Northwest Multiple does have a lot of helpful tips for you. If you click on the cogs on the left side of the screen, the 3 gears, there are some other things that you can do. I think though, Tom, let's go to my dashboard instead of the broker dashboard. So at this point, yeah, go back there and change the view there. Yeah. All right, some other tips and tricks, things that you can do. If you would like to have the notes visible on your screen, or move any of the boxes on your screen around, you have the ability to do that. Simply click on the lock, and the toolbar that will come up will have a lot of different options for you. To move something into that section, you simply take it and you drag and drop it into your dashboard. Go ahead and just, that's already there, I think. Anything that's green is stuff that's supposed to already be on there, or maybe I'm backwards. Yeah. So let's drag the notes over there. And if you scroll down, you will notice that notes are at the bottom of the screen. You can drag that into any position up above. So adding notes to your agent dashboard will mean that you will see the notes on each transaction that the review staff has on your original login screen of your transaction desk, and you will be able to click on the address to take you directly to the transaction, to reply to any of the notes that were sent to you, or to upload the corresponding documents. If you want this on your transaction agent dashboard, at this point, you would simply then click the lock and it would be in place for you there on your agent dashboard. Some other things that you can do are in regards to the preferences and what is seen by other people. So let's lock this in place, Tom. And now we're going to go to the 3 gears on the left side of the screen. And you are going to choose Preferences. And we are going to go down to Branding. This is where you can upload your photograph, a banner, and a logo. To get these items, you're going to want to go to All Things CBD, which is on our wheel of resources. Click on the All Things CBD and go to the Logos page.
You can hit Control F to find it and just type the word logos, and it'll take you right there. It's number 18. Click on number 18 and open the separate PDF for logos.
You are going to want to use the JPEG format. Do not choose any of the others. And also you're going to want to choose blue. So select one banner and one logo. and download them to your computer. You, of course, can use these logos on any other publications that you are needing this information for. There are some guidelines to which logos to use, and Tom, I will share those with you now.
So the one thing that you have to know is that corporate requires a white border around the logos, and it needs to be the equivalent of half the size of the box in both logos. In this one, for instance, it's half the size of this box. And the black and white ones are primarily for black and white print, or like in the newspaper. The blue one is the one that you're supposed to use whenever possible. And then these are a little bit confusing to some folks. These are actually a white logo. We just put the gray box in there so you can see it. But when you download that and open it, you don't see anything because it's on a white background at that point. So you won't see it until you actually paste it into where you're using it. If you had a dark blue bag or something that you wanted to put this on, or background, you would use the white one and then it'll show up.
So download the JPEG formats of a blue banner and a blue logo to your computer. Once you have it there on your computer, you will be able to upload the banner and the logo into your preferences. These will not be seen by everyone. The banner is for the fax back cover sheet, and if you use email within the transaction desk, you will have the logo on those items. So just be aware, these are items that you can upload to improve the appearance of your transaction desk for any correspondence that you use transaction desk to communicate with a client. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be looking for some other tips and tricks. We certainly know that transaction desk can be a challenge to you when you first start using it, so don't hesitate to call. We're here and ready to help you, and can do so over the phone when you are in front of your computer. So call us at the office and we will help you through. Have a great day.